Hello everyone and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends 3-pack featuring QuickSilver, Magneto, and the Scarlet Witch, and this is an Amazon exclusive 3-pack. But here we have the trio in the front window. We get the classic X-Men logo down there. In the left corner we get the Marvel 80 Years, which is something we'll be seeing a lot more of later this year. This is the first figure pack to feature that Marvel 80 Years logo, but we have the QuickSilver, Magneto, and Scarlet Witch names down there. On the top we do get just the simple X logo. On the side we get some very cool artwork featuring all three of them, and then it's the same on both sides. And on the back we get some very cool panels throughout various comic books that have featured these three, and then we do have the read-up. Magneto forms the Brotherhood of Mutants to combat anti-mutant sentiment, but the organization turns into a family matter when he recruits his twin superpowered children, QuickSilver and Scarlet Witch, to help him carry out his terrorizing agenda. And then we have down here at the bottom the UPC code, but again, this is a Amazon exclusive, so just search on Amazon and you should be able to find it. But enough about that, let's get this open and take a look at all three of these figures. And here they are outside of their packaging, and wow, very excited to get these figures. Realistically, I was originally excited most for a classic Magneto. I missed out on the true exclusive or the Toys R Us exclusive set that had that classic Magneto, and I never had the classic QuickSilver either, or any QuickSilver, so really excited for that. I wasn't super excited for the Scarlet Witch figure, but once I saw her, this is an excellent updated figure for Scarlet Witch. We'll do some comparisons, but this might be one of the best female comic book face sculpts that I've seen in a long time. Now this set is not without its gripes, so we'll kind of go over a few things here and there. Most of it is just pretty much the sort of stuff you would expect from a Marvel Legends mass-produced figures, which is, you know, it's okay. These figures do all come with some accessories, so we'll get a look at that. We do have pretty average height for these figures. Both Scarlet Witch and QuickSilver are coming in at about 6¼ inches tall, which makes them about 15.9 centimeters. And then Magneto is a little bit taller at 6 5/8 inches tall, which makes him about 16.8 centimeters tall. But let's go ahead and get a look at those accessories, and then we'll get a closer look at the figures. So out of the box, we do get some accessories for each of the figures. Starting first with Magneto, we do get an alternate head sculpt, which we'll take a look at that when we get the closer looks. But then you do get one of each of the magic holding hands, or rather the magnetism hands, and then a fisted hand. So you get one of each of these, or I'm sorry, you get a full pair of these. So you get two of these and two of the fists. And then looking at QuickSilver, so same thing, we get two pair of hands, two running hands, and then two fisted hands as well. And then looking at Scarlet Witch, we do get these magic effects, these flame effects that we've seen before. Matter of fact, I think we just recently saw these with the binary Captain Marvel, but you get these little sparkles inside, which is kind of cool. I like that, so that's pretty neat. And then last, we do get these two effects that we've seen before in various forms, but we do get them in this shade of purple, and then again, you can look and see some of those sparkles throughout. So a lot of accessories that we've seen before, but they still look pretty good. And starting first here with the Calm Magneto head sculpt, we see very, very cool looking design there in the classic helmet. It is a little bit crooked, so I might have to take some heat to try and straighten it out, but that is just awesome. And I love that it looks like a helmet on top of a face versus just something where it's all one molded piece. I love it, and you can even see they got the eyebrows in there painted. Man, yeah, that just looks awesome, and it is just classic Magneto. The helmet came out looking really good on here. No major paint issues. I can't really see too badly anything. Yeah, I think it came out looking really good. I love you can even see like his jaw coming out from the bottom. I think that is great. And then taking a look at the angry head sculpt that we get, and this will probably be the sculpt that I primarily use. There we go. A little difficult to get on, but yeah, look at that one. That is just awesome looking. Let's see if I can try to get some of the light in on that. Very, very angry looking. I love it. The eyes look great, teeth, the wrinkles throughout the face. Very cool looking. And the paint again on this helmet came out looking just fine as well. Get a little bit of flashing, and then I got a little bit of paint smear there. I think I could probably take care of that. But overall, the helmet came out looking really good, actually. I like that. So very, very cool. See if I can get him to stand up here so we can take a look down at the rest of the figure. Very good. So going down, we get that classic look there on his shoulder as far as the big rivets and the purple. And I love we actually have some shadowing going on with the cape, and that is awesome. So it goes from that purple with the black shadow down to a solid purple, and that is just, man, yeah. Very well done. I love that we got the shadowing in there. And speaking of the cape, it is held on with a port in the back, and then it's got the little nub there that helps it stick out a little bit, so that's probably just to help it sit down. Looking down at the rest of his costume, very well done. I love the sculpt. I forget which body mold this is, but I just love the design where you can see the fabric sort of stretching over the muscles and things like that, so I like that look. And there's not a whole lot to this costume. You get a few spots with purple, and just the rest of it can be mostly red, so very, very cool. And the legs and the feet and everything, yeah, just awesome. And just in case you want to see him without the cape, he does just have this little purple ring there going around, and the head can still go back on if you wanted to, and it doesn't look bad if you wanted to have like a capeless version, but I'm not sure why you'd want that. And then jumping over to the articulation, we're going to do it without the cape because that cape is going to hinder a lot. But you have a head that can go up and down quite a ways. You have shoulders that can come up quite a ways. But of course, with that cape on, that's going to hinder that. Full rotation, bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. And then you do have a hinge and rotation on all of the various hands that he comes with. You do have an ab crunch that can look down quite a bit, but of course if you have that cloak on, it's going to be sticking out a ways. He can go back quite a ways as well. He does have a waist rotation, legs that can come apart that far, kick forward quite a ways, kick back not really at all, upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, and then he does have a boot cut, and then hinge and ankle pivot. And jumping over to QuickSilver next, we see a very well done head sculpt here, and I thought for sure that this sculpt was a Peter Parker sculpt when I looked at it. I double checked, but I was watching another reviewer who said the same thing, that they thought it might have been Namor or Peter Parker, and that they had double checked, and that this was not the case, that this is an original sculpt. So that is very cool, and it's very well done. One thing I am noticing that it looks like Hasbro might be doing more. I noticed it first with the Captain America, the Worthy cap, and then the first 10 years cap, how the hair piece is actually a separate molded piece. So I feel like Hasbro might be doing something where they're going to have head sculpts and hair sculpts separate so that they can potentially use a same head sculpt for different either hairstyles or whatever it may be. Because who knows, we might get a QuickSilver with more of the classic look with the hair. But as it sits, I like how this hair looks. It's swept back. It looks like he's in mid-run. So I think that is awesome either way. And then looking up close, the eyebrows and the eyes and all that stuff looks like it came out very good. Going down the rest of the figure, we see that we are reusing that Spider-Man 2099 body mold, so we get some very good articulation and a very well done sculpt. We have a few issues here that we've seen with other figures where when you get into the corner of some of the muscle designs, you start to have a little bit of paint issues. Not sure why we got so many issues down there. But yeah, there are some paint issues with things not lining up. You get those little pockets where things aren't getting painted, so that is a little bit of a bummer. But otherwise, the sculpt work looks really nice, and for the most part, the paint came out looking good as well. But yeah, I like that a lot. We got a little bit of marbling, yeah, on that leg, but that's not the end of the world. Looking at QuickSilver's articulation, so you have a head that can go side to side. He can look down quite a ways, look up quite a ways as well. You have arms that can come up Yeah, not too bad. He does also have butterfly joints with very, very far back, which I actually really like that. I think that looks really good. Then he does have a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and then each of the hands that he comes with does have rotation and a hinge. He does have an ab crunch that can go down quite a ways and back quite a ways as well. He does have a waist cut. He has legs that can come apart that far, can kick forward that far, back not really at all, upper thigh cut, double jointed knees. Then he does have a boot cut and then a hinge and ankle pivot. And finally, we have the Scarlet Witch, and this head sculpt, I don't know why, or this face sculpt, to me, is just amazing. They knocked it out of the park. There are some little paint blemishes on her cheek there. It looks like, I don't know what's going on with that cheek on the right, but man, I don't know. That just, to me, looks like probably one of the best female head sculpts that we've seen. The paint is really on point. And yeah, look at those green eyes. Yeah, I think it's great. I love that we get the her, I don't know what the heck you call it, the cowl, the headdress, whatever. We get a really classic design with that where it's really tall, and I love the hair sticking out from the bottom of it there, her bangs. I think that looks awesome, and the rest of the hair looks great. We get some good paint detail throughout, so you get a little bit of that brown mixed with the black, so you really get some depth and color there. That, yeah, just looks awesome. And man, yeah, that just looks great. Going down the rest of the figure, so we're seeing this use of this metallic color that we get here with the mold. We saw this with the Retro Wave 2 where everybody looked very metallic, and we're seeing it again here. One downside, I did see, I got a little spot of paint missing here on the arm, so this was all molded in this metallic color and then painted with the red, and then I just had a spot missing, but thankfully it's on kind of an inside, underside thing, so... But yeah, looks really good. I love the gloves that we have here. We get the classic just magic casting hands that we've seen with a lot of the female characters, so nothing wrong with that. Her cape looks great. I love this low cut going down. Yeah, no shadowing it looks like that I can see, like what we got with Magneto's, but that's all right. Minimal, actually, not really seeing too much, maybe a little right there, but very little marbling going on, so I like that. Then we get paint for her boots, and they did get rid of the high heels that we had with the other Scarlet Witch figure, which is great, because now maybe we can stand her up. Now, looking at her articulation, because we have that fantastic head sculpt and the hair, we don't really get much swivel or turn out of the head at all, and in fact, you don't really get much of anything out of the head. I don't really feel like forcing it, because that's what it feels like, but yeah, this hair is actually relatively stiff, so you don't get a lot out of it. We do have arms that can come up. Yeah, that's kind of getting hindered here by the cloak. Man, yeah. Well, you get a T-pose out of it, though. You do get rotation, but you're kind of, again, hindered by the hair on this side anyway. You do have a single-jointed elbow with rotation, and then you do have a rotation and hinge at each of the wrists. You do have a little bit of wobble here on this diaphragm joint. Can go back a little ways, forward a little ways, and then you do get a little bit of side to side if you need it. No other kind of waist articulation, though. You have legs that can only come apart about that far. Kick forward, actually not too shabby. It does kick out a little bit, though. Kick back, not really at all. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, and then you do have a hinge and ankle pivot. And for a quick comparison, here we have the new Amazon exclusive Magneto on the right next to the Apocalypse Wave Magneto on the left, and both great figures in their own way. We get that classic design with the new Amazon exclusive, and then we get that updated design with the Apocalypse Wave. So both are great figures, and they share the same body sculpt as far as the actual mold used. They just have, of course, different boots and gauntlets and capes, and different helmet design as well. So, but one of the coolest things that came from the Apocalypse Wave Magneto is that we did get a unmasked or unhelmeted version of Magneto. So let's go ahead and pop that on and see how that looks on this classic design. And as you can see, this head sculpt does fit on here without any issue, and it looks amazing. Yes, very awesome. I love that we have the long hair version that they gave us because that is ripped straight out of the pages of the 90s X-Men comics for sure. I just love that look. So, yeah, very, very cool. And for another quick comparison, here we have the original Scarlet Witch way back. I don't even remember. Was this an All-Father wave, I think? Yeah, I think that might have been what it was. But with this new updated Scarlet Witch, and again, I feel like there's just no comparison. When you look at the design of that new one, the face sculpt, the hair, everything about it just looks, yeah, it looks fantastic. You had the same cape and the same overall body design. You did have the gloves on the new version, and then, of course, the different head sculpt. But other than that, aside from the heels and the no heels, it's basically the same figure, but it's amazing what an updated head sculpt and design, as far as the mold used, the materials used, and even just the overall deco, what it can do for a figure. It's just amazing. And real quick, I just wanted to get up close one more time here on both of these head sculpts so you can really see again just the differences. And I almost feel like the old Scarlet Witch was almost a little bit too big. Her face was too big for that body. The new one just looking like it fits on there better. But again, man, just awesome. And unfortunately, I don't have the old QuickSilver or any QuickSilver figure to display him next to for comparison, but we do have the Scarlet Spider here, Kane, that uses the same body mold, so you can see how that stacks up. And yeah, I think this needs to be, and I think I've said it maybe in the video that I did my Kane review, that this needs to be like the new Bucky cap mold. I love having butterfly joints on these things. Just awesome. And finally, here is one last shot of this Amazon exclusive standing next to each other. And that about does it for this review, everyone. And I will leave my final thoughts down below in a comment, and I want you guys to do the same. But needless to say, I think you got the gist of my thoughts on this set, which is to say, I like it. I like it a lot. But like I said, I'll go into more detail down below. So let me know what you think down there as well. Was this a set that you were excited for, not excited for? Why or why not? I'd love to hear from you. If you like the figures in this review or the review itself, please make sure to hit that like button. For more content just like this, make sure to subscribe. And aside from that, thanks for watching my video and have a great day.